Hey YouTube, I'm back. I haven't made a video in a long time, but I was wondering if you guys could help me out. I recently acquired a computer, and it is a Gateway Micro Tower, manufactured in 2001. And I've been looking for a BIOS update for this thing to support a 1.1 gigahertz Pentium 3 processor out of a Dell Optiplex GX150. It fits and it should be recognized because what's in this thing right now is a 1 gigahertz Celeron processor, and 120 of which it has 128 kilobytes of cache memory on the processor, and it sucks big time. I hate Celeron with a passion. This machine currently has 340 megabytes of RAM, and something I found interesting, let's see here, and I'm totally not pointing at the computer, there we go. Sorry about that, I'm using my webcam, so it's making it kind of difficult. This thing has no PS2 ports on the back. It is all basic modem, Ethernet card, and USB, and a printer port, VGA port. But there is no keyboard and mouse hookup on this thing. There is the model number, or serial number. Gateway doesn't use model numbers. Well, they do, but it's a Flex ATX STC Bro 300S. The serial number is 00253-07886. And I've literally searched for hours on the web just trying to find out information about this computer. But apparently, according to Google and Gateway's website, it doesn't exist. I know Gateway is pretty much dying out, and they were bought up by Acer or something like that. But funny thing, this thing says, designed for Microsoft Windows XP. Now I know that should meet XP's minimum requirements, but the 1 gigahertz Celeron and 340 megs of RAM run like absolute crap when this thing is running XP. I had to put Windows 2000 on it just to get it to run alright. But I'll do, I guess, a quick boot up so you can see what this thing is like. Forgive me for the reflection on the monitor, but I'm using a CRT, and it's going to also have the lines on it because this thing isn't synced. But here we go. Power on. It doesn't run bad, but the 1 gigahertz Pentium 3, oh yeah, and the CMOS battery is apparently dead. I'll go into the BIOS so you can see the specs on this thing if the lines would quit going across the screen. But it currently thinks it's its manufacturing date. This thing was manufactured January 1st of 2001, and that is currently what the system date is set to. So, but it's got Intel Celeron, well, there's the lines, but Intel Celeron 1000 megahertz, and I have a 256 megabyte and a 128 megabyte stick in here of RAM, and that gives me a total of 383 megs of RAM, and which is pretty junky in my opinion. So let's continue booting this. But I got this thing just because it's an original Gateway, and I had a Gateway before and I loved it. First computer I'd ever gotten, so I figured, well, what the hell, you know? Go ahead and get this thing and see how it works. I was going to use it for a media center computer, starting Windows 2000. Haven't seen that in a while. But it has 4 megabytes of onboard graphics, and it doesn't play back DVDs well at all. So I'm also going to get a 64 megabyte standard PCI, not PCI Express, graphics card, um, just to be able to play movies on it. And a lot of people are probably like, well, why the hell do you even have this? What's the point? Really into, oh, look, this is also a 1995 Parker Bell monitor, which does not support 1024 by 768 resolution. I forgot about that. Let's see here. Let me power this thing back off, because I completely forgot about that. Another thing is, when you let go of the power button on this thing, sometimes, oh, it's not going to do it now, but it'll shut off when you let go, it powers it back on. So that's like a reset power off switch combination, I guess, but it gets really annoying at times. Actually, instead of rebooting this thing, I will do that eventually, I think. Let's open this thing up and give you a look at the insides. 1 second, I'm going to put down the webcam. Alright. So, inside, we have our 1 gigahertz Celeron processor. And I was actually surprised. I added this CPU fan onto here, because the one that was on it wasn't all that great. It had bad bearings in the fan and all that. Let me hold this up. You press this in, or this little button in right here, and that folds out the CD-ROM and floppy drive. It lets you pull it up and fold it so you can get to the motherboard. And let me do that real quick. Has a very, very tiny power supply. It says the maximum output wattage is, I think, this thing doesn't focus worth a damn. I think the maximum continuous output is 90 watts. And that is tiny as all hell. But I added in a DVD-ROM drive, and it's got a 40 gig, I think it's a Seagate drive. I can't get to it because all the ribbons in the way. But it's got LAN card and 1 extra PCI slot. I still can't believe this thing has no PS2 ports for the keyboard and mouse. But yeah, this thing has no PS2 ports whatsoever. But if somebody could kind of do some searching around, I don't know how well that model number is coming through, but it's a Flex ATX Bro 300S Gateway Micro Tower. And I just need some specs on it, so maybe I can keep this thing around a while. I don't even know why I like it, but there's just something about old computers that intrigues me. But the motherboard looks pretty much brand new, and this thing's not focusing, and it's kind of dark in here, so you can't see anything. But yeah, the motherboard looks pretty much brand new. The thing's clean as a whistle, and works nice. Well, sort of. But yeah. So just leave a comment or something. Do some research. If somebody's got one of these things, let me know where you can find some friggin' support for this thing, because I called Gateway's customer support, and of course, none of them spoke actual English, which I did find very annoying. And then, just to talk to somebody, you have to pay to talk to somebody. You get this guy that can't speak English, and then after about 6 transfers and 2 hours on the phone, they say, oh, we can give you some customer support, but you have to pay to talk to us, and it might not even fix the problem. They didn't say that exactly, but I added the part on the end. But, yeah. So, just, see what you can find for me, because I'm quite frustrated. I actually want to use this thing, and it will be usable with 512 of RAM and the Pentium 3 in it, because I have a computer with that exact same specs, and I use it for old games, you know, the original Doom, Doom 2, things like that. Movies. But, all around, I don't think it's too bad. Alright, well, leave a comment. Don't forget to rate it. Maybe subscribe if you like my videos. I haven't made one in a long time. They're kind of few and far in between because I don't camera, and I'm using webcam connected to my compact tower that also has a 2.7 gigahertz Celeron processor, which I think any and all Celerons should be burnt up, throw away, and after we get them all into a pile, they should have a nuke dropped on top of them and never be manufactured again because they just suck. But, alright, comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. And that didn't stop recording. Oh, okay.